Hello, everybody. This is Robert Cooperman. I am the administrator of the Office of Learning and Professional Development at DAS, and I'm really delighted that you're here to learn about the new EDF application. This application launched in early July 2013, and we are very pleased so far with the results. The purpose of this little session here is to get you acclimated to where you can find help and what you can do in the system. So I hope to take you through this in a nice, clear, and concise way. Our agenda today is we're going to look at the benefits of the new system, and we're also going to visit the EDF webpage, so you'll see all the resources that you have to make this program very easy to use. We'll also navigate through the new system. I'll log in. I'll talk about creating a profile. We'll do a pre-approval. We'll even upload supporting documents. And we'll talk about how you get paid, because that's always exciting. And then we'll talk just a little bit about the help desk. Now, if you have any questions, you can feel free to send them in to us, and we will show you a little bit later on where to do that. And hopefully we'll have answered all your questions today. But if not, we're always here to answer some questions. So let's take a look at what you can do to get onto the system. So bear with me as I move through, and I'm trying to get through this. And all right, there we go. Pardon me. Okay, so let's start with where we can find the benefits or talk about the benefits of this system. Well, it's a brand new system, and it came to us from customer suggestions. And also, quite frankly, the suggestions of the EDF team. They wanted to make the processing side of it much easier, but we were also looking for ways to make the end user side of it much easier, much cleaner, much more intuitive, and much faster. So we now have an application that is completely online. This system is available 24/7, ladies and gentlemen. And as such, you can access it anytime, anywhere that you have access to the internet. So that's a very cool thing, no matter when and where you are. So at work or at home, want to check on the status of your application. Where's my reimbursement? Can I put in a pre-approval? Do it at work. Do it from home, wherever you prefer. This system allows you to view your available funds at any time. So you can determine throughout the course of the fiscal year how much you have available. And so you're never caught short. You can view all your course and transaction history. One of the great things about this new system is we are empowering you, the user, to have full control over your courses, your applications. You can see where they are at any time because, as I said, the system's 24/7. You can even see when the request has been sent to Payroll. Oh, we'll talk about Payroll. Why don't we do it now? Probably the best thing for many people about this brand new wonderful system is that you are no longer paid by a voucher, but you are paid via Payroll. You will see a line in your itemized pay stub that will show you exactly where that addition of reimbursement money is. And a little bit later in this training, we will show you exactly where that is. So that's really a great thing. And I'm going to anticipate one of your questions. Do I get taxed if it's now on my paycheck? And the answer is no, unless the reimbursement is more than $5,250. And that's always been the case, folks. So there's no change there. There's no tax. Unless, of course, it's more than that amount. You also are going to receive immediate email notifications of approvals, disapprovals, submissions. It's all through the system. So it's immediate communication, payroll payment, 24/7 access, and you can even complete an application with up to 5 classes per application. So we really have many, many options here to make this a fully self-service application, which is really what our customers have demanded. So how do I get to it? There's a number of ways. Well, one way is simply the DAS page, the Learning and Professional Development page. And if you scroll down on the Learning and Professional Development page, you're going to see all these buttons that represent different programs that we offer or have offered in the past. And there's one for EDF. If I click on EDF, I get right there to the new Employee Development Funds page. Okay. Also, if I happen to be on the Learning and Professional Development page, there's a little box here that says Employee Development Funds. Hey, that may even be quicker than scrolling. Give that a click, and there I am again. But there's actually one more way that we can get to it, and I'm going to show you, and that is through MyOhio.gov. Now, it always takes a couple of seconds for MyOhio to pull up, but when it does, we'll show you exactly how you can get to the Employee Development Funds application on MyOhio. Now, of course, you have to be signed in to MyOhio, which I will do if it ever comes up for me to do that. Here it is. So let me sign in for you. And hope I get my password right, because, you know, sometimes you have more than one password. And we'll take a look. Good. Under Career Resources, ladies and gentlemen, Career Resources, Professional Development, Tuition, Education, Reimbursement. And when I click on that, that takes me right to the application itself. Okay? So from MyOhio, if I click on that Tuition and Reimbursement link, I go right to the application itself. From the websites, it takes me to the Employee Development Funds homepage. And I want to spend a little time here because this is going to be our first exploration. Okay, so here we are on the Employee Development Funds page, and you'll notice that there are a number of buttons here, the What's New, and buttons on this side, buttons on the right side, all kinds of information about system access, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, and help desk information also up in our general content area. Okay, so this is a good one-stop shop for you to go and learn a little bit more about the Employee Development Funds and access the application. So, for example, in our What's New button, if we click that, what we're going to get is the advantages. And I just kind of read them to you, but there they are, all about the 24/7 access, the fund availability, and the processing through payroll. So if you ever want to take a look at that, you are able to do so because it's all right there, so you don't have to take my word for it. Now, as we look down further, we see that here is the eligibility for employee groups to use the program. If you didn't already know, it is exempt from all bargaining units. And then we have 4 different bargaining units who are represented under this agreement. Okay? Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio State Troopers, SCOPE, OEA, NEA, and the Service Employees International Union. If you're a member, the 1199. If you're a member of one of these unions, you are eligible to use this system. Oh, and of course, exempt employees. Now further down, we have 2 sets of buttons. We have the Fiscal Year FY13 buttons on the right, the Fiscal Year 14 FY14 buttons on the left. The buttons on the right are specifically and only for classes or events that have a start date on or before June 30th, 2013. Okay? The new system is not set up with Fiscal Year 2013 information. So you would have to use the older system if and only if your classes begin on or before June 30th, 2013. Now, we're anticipating fewer and fewer of those as time goes on, obviously, and we will take these buttons off when the time is right, but right now we may still have folks who are taking classes or events that are continuing into Fiscal Year 14 but started in Fiscal Year 13. Those are paid out of Fiscal Year 13 funds. Now, although you have to do the old system of sending the application in, attaching things, and scanning it and sending it via email, the good news is that your reimbursements will come via payroll. So even though you are putting in the old system applications, you will still get paid via payroll. So that's some good news there. It's kind of a hybrid right now. And if you have any interest in what the Fiscal Year 13 information is, we have 3 buttons there, including the policies and the frequently asked questions. But on the left side, we have the one you'll probably be using more, and the section that this webinar is about, and that is the classes that start on or after July 1st, 2013. Those are, of course, fiscal year 14 classes because the state's fiscal year begins on July 1st. Here we have 3 buttons that will be of value to you. Number 1 is the actual system itself, and I'll click on that in a minute. You kind of got a glimpse of what it looks like when I went through MyOhio.gov. We also have here the policies for fiscal year 14. They have been updated, so the fiscal year 13 policies do not apply to fiscal year 14. If we click on that, you will notice that you have some choices. You have the exempt policy and then policies for all 4 of the bargaining units represented by this program. You can click on any one of those to read the policies. So we do have that. We also have frequently asked questions. We have spent a great deal of time on these frequently asked questions, and you'll notice that there's 6 pages of them, and they are constantly updated and amended as necessary. But you can find anything you need here pretty much, and if you don't see what you need here, or you feel that an answer is unclear, by all means, please get in touch with us because we'll be glad to make updates. But here you have, how do I access it, and what do I need to be reimbursed, and what about my reimbursements, how much, and what do I have, am I required to have pre-approval, which of course the answer is no, and how do I know, for example, if my class qualifies for reimbursement? I would urge you to take a look at these frequently asked questions, and the ones from fiscal year 14 are the ones you're going to want. Finally, we have the entranceway to the actual application, which I'm going to show you. But please note this down here, system access. If using Microsoft Internet Explorer browser, the version must be IE9 or higher. Well, really the fact of the matter is, folks, that that version should be IE9 or higher. The program was designed to work best with IE9 or higher, but it may still work with an earlier version of Internet Explorer. If you are having difficulties with your browser, please contact your IT department and see if there's possibly something they can do for you. Maybe download a higher version of Internet Explorer, or there might be some workaround that they can do for you so that you can use this system properly. The system does work, by the way, with Google Chrome and Firefox. So again, the real sticking point might be an earlier version of Internet Explorer. They do work with the earlier versions. Sometimes there's little glitches. If you're not sure, contact your IT department and see what options are available for you at your agency. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the system itself. Remember, this was the page I got to when I logged into MyOhio. I got the same exact page, the login page. Hey, there's some information here, and it even tells you that classes that start with a date of July 1st, 2013 and onwards, this is the program you want to use. Now, the great thing about this program is that we have tried to put in job aids and instructions on every page so that you know what you need to do, and if you don't, we've got job aids right there waiting for you. Okay? Notice on the bottom here, I just want to show you that it says the EDF web application is optimized for Internet Explorer 9 or higher, and if you're experiencing display problems, please click here to view instructions, and guess what? If you did that, this will show you what you need to do to change the Microsoft Explorer browser document mode, and it's really very easy. Okay. All right, so if there's anything weird going on in your Internet Explorer and you have 9 or above, click that button, and it'll tell you how to correct that problem. All righty. Now, first-time visitors, you must set up an account profile that includes a password and security information to use this system. Okay, so you have to first register your account. And then once you've got your account established, you simply log in with your employee ID and your password each time. But you've got to set it up first. Now, obviously, I'm in the system, so I do have one, but I'm going to show you how I create my account profile. And here it is, the link, Create My Account Profile. Now you see all these fields here, and most have asterisks, and those asterisks are, of course, required fields. And we can start filling this out together, and I just won't save mine. But I just want to let you know that if you look at this and say, well, I'm not quite sure what to do, or I want to make sure I do this right the first time, right here, you'll see click here for registration instructions. And if you click on that and open it up, you'll get a job aid, creating a profile. I'll make that a little larger so we can see it a little better. There's creating a profile, and it gives you all the information about what you need to do to set up your profile. You can follow that step by step. You can print it out, or you can just give it a shot on your own because it's really pretty intuitive. So I'll start with my employee ID and my last name and my home zip code. We're not going to be writing to you at home. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure why the home zip code is the one you use, but that's the one they want. Okay? Now, next are the fields for primary telephone and email. I will let you know that you may use your home telephone number, your cell phone, or your work phone. Same thing for your email. You choose home email, work email, up to you. Just remember that although telephone, you're probably not going to get a lot of calls from us, but if we do need to contact you or send notifications, then it's going to be via email, and it's going to be the email that's in the system. So you put down whatever email you want, and you have the opportunity to change it later, but just remember that whichever one you choose is where it's going to go. So if you don't want to get bombarded with them at home, please don't put in your home email address. So I'll put in my telephone number, and I'll put in my work email, because that's where I want my notifications to go. Okay. I'm going to re-enter my email to make sure that it is done correctly. The system can verify it. And then you create a password. Well, hey, how do I create a password? Are there some guidelines? Hey, I know where to find that in the registration instructions. And so you may want to use this here, and it tells you that you're to create a password, and I'll make this even larger so it's a little easier to see. To create a password, it must be 8 to 20 characters long, contain at least one character from each of the following categories. We have an English letter, digits, and any special symbol. We've given you the myriad of them there. Okay? So you can create your own password using those guidelines, and I've got mine set up. And then I can re-enter it again to verify and get it right. You can change it later, and then it's going to ask you a security question, and this is in case you forget your password and need to verify that it's you who wants this access. Okay, and I'll just pick the name of my favorite pet, and that was, just say Rex, my German Shepherd when I was growing up. The only other thing you need to do now is agree to participate in the program to further your professional development, and by submitting the application, the information is correct to the best of your knowledge, and you agree to the terms outlined in the EDF policies. If you don't want to check that before you read the EDF policies, you know where to find them on the EDF homepage. And I'm going to show you a way to find it right within the system too. And once you check that agreement box, you'll click Create, and you're all set to go. It'll tell you that you're accepted. Now I'm going to go back to login because I already have all this in the system, so I'm just going to log in right now. My employee ID. And my password. And I don't know if you noticed, but on the previous page it said forgot password and a little link and what you can do there. Click on that and it'll give you the instructions for what to do if you forgot your password, including a job aid. Okay, so now I'm in the system. I'm an end user, and I've got all kinds of information here, and this is my profile. Now, I can't change anything on my profile here, but let's say I decide at some point that I am really tired of getting emails at home, and I want to get them at work, or vice versa. Okay. Well, this Mighty EDF account here will allow you to change your phone and your email. You can also change your password from here with this button. Okay, so phone or email can be changed here, and just simply click Update. Okay. The other thing I can do right off the bat here on the My EDF page is to take a look at the fiscal year. Now, if you click this drop-down box for fiscal year, you will see we have three options. We have fiscal year 13, but remember I said that none of the fund information is loaded into the system, so it's not really going to help you. Fiscal year 14, and then fiscal year 15. That'll come in handy when the new fiscal year starts next July. And so you can go back and forth at that time between fiscal year 14 and fiscal year 15 to see what your funds are. But if I click fiscal year 14, what I get is a great table here of everything I have, and it is based on my exempt status or bargaining unit status. And it will show me what I have total for events and tuition and what I have spent already, so therefore what's available. Talks about my caps and indeed my combined annual limit. So I've got all my funding information here. So even before I put in an application, I can say, oh, let me see if I have enough funds to go to this event or on tuition. I haven't spent anything on tuition so far. So I have all my $3,000 available. You might have a different number available because you're in a bargaining unit. I'm exempt. That's what I have available. Okay. Notice here there's a thing that says click help. If I click that, I go to every single EDF instruction document I've got, including the policies, okay, and FAQs. So all the information that you had on the EDF website is also embedded into the program itself. Okay. I can also go to this same list by hitting Help and Instructions, and it's going to take me to the same place. I'm going to go back to my EDF account, okay, and that's where I could, as I mentioned, change things. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, there we are, back to my dashboard. The other thing you can see is I have funding instructions here. Well, that shows me how to read this table. And then I have my event tuition maps or OCPM creation instructions. Okay, now you will see only those things that apply to you. So if you're in the bargaining unit and you're not eligible for OCPM or MAPS, you won't see some of these things. So be aware that your view might be a little different. But today we'll talk about events and tuition, so that's something everybody can see. Okay, so let's say I want to go ahead and create an application. Well, I can do a couple of things. I can go into my creation instructions, print them out, have them ready for me, open them in a new tab maybe, or I can just go over to Application and Create. And at that point, it's going to ask me, what kind of a program do I want to apply for? Well, I'll select my EDF program. Now watch what happens over here. Right now, all I have is funding instructions. Watch what happens when I choose Event. I get the Event Application Creation instructions. Watch what happens when I choose Tuition. I get Tuition Application Creation instructions. So on the Create New Application page, depending on the EDF program I pick, that's the instructions I'm going to get. Let's go back to Event, and I'm going to select the type of program. I'm going to be attending a conference. Okay. Once I have all that in, I'm just going to hit Create. Hey, I would like to see my fiscal year information, please. Well, I can do that pretty easily. If you get a red line across here and you're not able to pull up your funds on this page, it's that Internet Explorer 9 issue, okay? And it's really very, very easy to fix. I can just show you quickly, and it's in the instructions. It's Tools, Compatibility View Settings, and then there'll be some boxes checked here. You would uncheck them. I'm going to show you so you get a sense. If I check those boxes back, now I've got this red line. See that? And when I go to select my fiscal year, I get nothing. Go back to Tools, Compatibility View Settings, uncheck those boxes, close, and that's for MyOhio, folks. That's PeopleSoft. This is not this application that I'm about to be timed out, so don't worry about that. So the red line disappears, and the funding reappears. It's as simple as that. Again, that's for Internet Explorer 9 or higher if there's a compatibility issue, and you'll know that by the red line. Okay, a lot of the fields are filled out for me. I just need to take care of the ones with the asterisk. So let's say I'm attending a conference given by the American Society of Training and Development, or ASTD. Okay. The course name, or in this case it would be the event name, is the annual conference. Okay. If it's out of state, you'd put that down. This one's in Ohio. Now, this one is going to be on August 26th. Happens to be my birthday, but I won't mention it. And it's a one-day conference. So August 26th it will end. It costs $500 to go to this. Now, before I even put that down, do I have that available? This is an event. I'm going to look up here on my event fund section on my fiscal year information, and I'm going to see that I have $1,145 available. So yeah, I got $500 available. I can do it. Okay. That's the only fields you need to fill out, folks. Those are the only ones with the asterisk. Everything else is really not needed. I would want to check to make sure this is not an online course. It is not. So I'm going to actually attend this conference. Notice the red mark here. You must click the Save button before submitting. I will do that. Success, your application has been saved. It will tell you if it's not, okay, or if there's anything missing. All right, so my application is saved now. Now, I can submit it for pre-approval or reimbursement. Remember, folks, pre-approval is not required. You can do it. You don't have to. The key with it, though, is you can't pre-approve on or after the date of the event. So if today were August 26th, number one, it would be my birthday. Number two, I could not submit it for pre-approval, and the system wouldn't let me. It has to be up to a day before the event. But since this event is now 24 days away, I can submit for pre-approval. And success, your application has been submitted for pre-approval. What's going to happen now is I'm going to get a notification through email that tells me that my application has been submitted for pre-approval. It will send it to the email address I provided when I set up my profile. When it's approved, I'll get another email that tells me it's approved. Okay? And then within 60 days of the event itself, I can go ahead and upload my supporting documents, which I will show you, and then submit for reimbursement. Okay? If I want to take a look at any of the applications that I have set up, I have a search button under application. And I can fill in some of the search engine information, or I could just simply search. And here are all the things I've set up. There's some duplicates there and things that look similar because I've been practicing with this. But let's see, where's the one that I just did? Well, here it is, the event. And it says that pre-approval is submitted for my annual conference. Okay. But then I have things where pre-approval has been granted. So you can follow the application status right here on the application search page. You can do it by status. So I could say, I just want to see everything in which the pre-approval has been granted. And those are those two. I want to just search anything where the pre-approval has been simply submitted. And that's the event we were talking about. Or I can clear that all out by clicking the Clear Search Criteria button. Well, I'm supposed to be able to do that. And then search the application. All right, well, we'll stick with that. My apologies there. Clearly that one's not working. Kind of embarrassing, but it should work. All righty. I can also click the Edit button on anyone where it's available and make some edits. There's nothing here I can change. It's been submitted for pre-approval, but what I can do is upload support documents. So why don't I go ahead and do that? I'm going to upload support documents. When I click that button, it's really very easy. I can submit up to 5 documents per application. The documents cannot in total exceed 5 megabytes. Okay? And it does say one doc shouldn't exceed 1 megabyte, but the fact of the matter is, altogether, 5 is the limit. Okay? And then it's just, the uploading is just like uploading that you would do on any internet page. If you've ever done that before, you would click Browse, and you'd go to wherever the documents are that you scanned and saved to your computer. So I'm going to see if I have anything here that might work for me. I mean, I have all kinds of things. Yeah, I'll just put, even though this is not a real support document here, Let's just put that in there because it's a small document, 66 KBs. Okay, put that in there. Open. Upload. And if I scroll down, there it is. There's my document that I have posted as a supporting document. Hey, if you don't know what supporting documents that you need, it tells you here on the system. For reimbursement, you must submit proof of cost, proof of attendance, proof of payment. And there's even a place for more information about each one of those. And you can print that off and save it if you ever want it by clicking here to print. So I've got that there, and I also could delete it if I wanted to. And I can cancel this application if I want to. So I have full control over what I can do in this system. And but using the search feature on application search, as you know, I can search for any course that I have. And there's the one I've just been doing. And if the pre-approval is submitted, tells me when, okay, tells me my employee ID so I know it's mine. And then when it gets granted, I'll have the pre-approval granted. And the same is going to work for reimbursements. Okay. All righty. Remember that when it's time to request reimbursement, going to one that pre-approval is granted there, here's how I do it. I'll put on, here's one that I've got my documentation attached. I'd simply submit for reimbursement, and hopefully I'll get, in this case, my $85. And I'll see it on my payroll. So that's another thing we should talk about, because that is exciting. The payment is via payroll. So let's take a look at what it's going to look like on a screenshot. Okay. And I'm going to open that up for you. Whoops, not that one. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a mock-up of your pay stub that you can get from MyOhio.gov. And what we have here is the tuition reimbursement program right here. Look, here it is. And the amount highlighted in yellow. Not taxable unless it's more than $5,250. And it's right under your regular pay. Okay. So this is a really handy system, and one that I think you're going to enjoy working with because it's just kind of easy to use. And I hope you agree. Okay, whoops. I got to get to the right page here. Okay. There's all the information. Remember, as I said, the help is instructions or contact us. And here's all the information about where we are found, how to find our information on the website, call our voicemail, email us. Please, we're here to help. We want to hear comments about the system. We want to hear, of course, when the system's not working. And we want to also know about any FAQs that you would like added to the system. Okay? Or if there's an answer that you think is not clear, help us make it clear. Well, that's what we have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. That's the simple version of how to use this program. So far, the responses and results that we've gotten from people have been very, very positive. So I hope you feel the same way, and I hope you enjoyed listening to us about the Employee Development Funds. If you have any questions, please contact us at the website or phone or email that you see listed here and is also on the EDF webpage. Once again, this is Robert Cooperman. I'm the Administrator of the Office of Learning and Professional Development for the Department of Administrative Services, DAS, thanking you for your time and saying please enjoy using this great new system and let us know how things are going. Thanks very much, folks.